Great evening, great evening. Great evening and welcome. Welcome to Talk Tuesday. Welcome to Talk Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, and thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Please do share if you'd like to share, and we'll get started in just a moment. Welcome to Talk Tuesday. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you for joining, and welcome to Talk Tuesday. It is Tuesday. What is today? The 27th, I think. Maybe I'm off. I've been sick. The 26th. So today, all day, it has been the 26th. So please forgive me, but welcome to Talk Tuesday. I am Tawana Lorraine, and thank you for joining me tonight. Talk Tuesday comes to you every Tuesday, 7 p.m. We go live every other Tuesday, and we thank you for joining in with us. And we ask that if you have a topic that you would like to have discussed on Talk Tuesday with Coach T, please send us an email. My email address is tawana@tawanalorraine.com. That's Tawana, TJUANA, @tawanalorraine.com. And you can also visit my website, tawanalorraine.com. You can learn all about me. You can also send me a message from there, and we'll be happy to discuss anything that not anything. Let me take that back. We'll be happy to take your request under consideration. But tonight, I am excited. I am excited because we are going to talk about tonight my new book. My new book finally came out. You don't know my story. It's been out officially for a couple of weeks now. We had our official book release and signing a couple of weeks ago. So now we're on our book signing tour, and we'll be on tour for the next maybe 6 or 7 weeks. So hopefully I'll be able to see you at one of my tour spots. So tonight I just want to briefly talk about, you don't know my story. I want to give a little insight on it. There's a lot of people that have questions about it. There's a lot of people that are very interested in it, and there's a lot of people that have also read the book. I've gotten some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful reviews. I'm waiting on more reviews to come in. I'm waiting on more reviews to be posted on the website. So if you have read You Don't Know My Story, please go to tawanalorraine.com and leave your review under that product. If you have not read You Don't Know My Story, then this is your opportunity to get your book and let me know what you think about it. I've gotten a lot of reviews, and a lot of people have said, oh my God, you shared your story with us. Thank you so much for opening up and sharing your life with us. Not that I shared my entire life. I'm still a very private person, but there are some instances in my life that I needed to share in order to be able to help others and help others heal. There's some things that I went through in my life, even from being a preemie. I was born 2 months early, 2 pounds, 3 ounces, 2 pounds, 5 ounces, excuse me. And to look at me now, you wouldn't know that I was a 2-pound baby, but I was, and I lived my first month of my life in the incubator. And that is some of the story that you hear in my book. So I actually discussed some things that I went through in my life as a teenager, as a youngster, I'm not going to give the entire story away. You have to come to my book signing, or you have to come to a speaking engagement, or you have to get the book. You have to get the book in order to hear it out. But one thing that I did want to share tonight is that those that have already read my book, my mission has already been accomplished. My goal was to inspire just one person. If it was just one person that I can inspire with my book, sharing some things that I had gone through, sharing some things that I had dealt with in my life. If I could just help one person, then my mission was accomplished. And that has been done already. That has been completed. That has been done. I've helped more than one person. So listen, it doesn't matter who else gets the book. It doesn't matter who else reads the book. It doesn't matter who else supports the book. I've already did my mission, and it has been accomplished. I have gotten, like, they attacked me at work. A couple of people brought their books on Friday, and they bought combos where they get the t-shirt as well as the book, and they really supported me at work. So I got to work on Monday, and they actually attacked me. Like, when I come in, they know when I'm coming in, and I have to walk down this long corridor to get to my side of the building. So I walk in, and they started attacking me. Oh my God, Tawana Lorraine. And I have one person that calls me Mahogany because I change my hair all the time. So my nickname is Mahogany. And she just, like, people don't know who you are if you have, you know, some of us do have a life outside of work or outside of our businesses or whatever. And all she knows was, she knew Tawana. Well, she doesn't really know Tawana. She knew Mahogany because she named me a couple of years ago. So she named me Mahogany, and I walked in, and she attacked me. She said, oh my God, girl, oh my God. I just have to give you a hug. I am just so excited. I am just so excited. And I was amazed. As you can hear it in my voice, I sound like a little like Barry White today, so I apologize. But I've been dealing with upper respiratory issues over the weekend. What started out as sinuses turned into congestion and along the lines of bronchitis. But nevertheless, I keep going because I'm on a mission. I have a purpose. So when she attacked me, all I could do was cough, and I almost choked because I was just overwhelmed. And I was just so thankful that my story could help someone else. And she said, I laughed and I cried and I got mad sometimes. She said, I felt like I was just sitting right in front of you across the table, and you were just talking to me one-on-one, and you were telling me your story. And she said, I felt like I was right there with you in your story, and that's all I wanted. Y'all, listen, I sit on this book for 20 years. When I tell you, like, some of the things that I wanted to do in this book, or wanted to say in this book, I sit on it for 20 years. I you know, put myself on the back burner and pushed other things, pushed other people, and put my heart and soul into doing other stuff. But now I'm on a mission to get my bucket list completed. And in that, I am coming for my purpose. Believe it or not, I am not giving up. Clarissa, I do have your shirt. They're on the way. She told me yesterday that I have those that were sold out, the sizes and the colors that were sold out. I should be getting them any day now. So, sweetheart, your shirt will be on the way. Sheila, I think that was, I do have a book. So I actually need to stop by the salon and see a few of you guys sometimes this week. So I will get with you guys a little later on, maybe tonight or tomorrow, and I will set up to get you a book. If you are not local and you need to get your book, please go to my website, TawanaLorraine.com. I did list it here, and order your book and or order your combo, and it will be shipped out. I do have books on hand now where I can ship them out myself with your t-shirts. So please go to my website and get that, and I will be happy to send them out to you. But if you have a t-shirt or a book order and you are local here, the Gastonia, Charlotte arena, please get with me. You can send me a text from my website, the number you can actually text, or you can send me an inbox, whatever. I do get a lot of inboxes, so I try to get back with you as soon as possible. But please give me a moment, and I'll get back with you, and we'll get that done. But going back to my book, speaking about my book, I have a section in my book called shedding the baggage. And in that, I talk about how I struggled with my weight all my life. Well, not all my life, but most of my life. Even from a little girl, I was always a thick little girl. I thought it was cute anyway, but I was always a thick little girl. And so I was a victim of bullying when I was in elementary school and junior high school. But as I grew up and came into my own, I grew to love fashion. I grew to love the skin that I was in. And I decided that it just didn't matter what size I was, that I was going to carry myself very well. My mother taught me that, and she told me, no, it doesn't matter what size you are. You always make sure you're clean. Always make sure you're presentable. Never leave home without your earrings, and always make sure that you look your very best. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you might not see me out in my sweats and my sneakers or what have you. You may see me barefaced as you do today because I didn't feel like doing the makeup thing today. But I try my best to look my very best anytime I can. And I like, you know, flipping stuff with my clothes, and I like thrift shopping, and I like, you know, I have to put myself on a budget sometimes. But I like to make sure that I look well no matter what. But in that, shedding the baggage, I talk about how I went, I'm just going to say this because I can't give away too much. But if you've known me for a while, there's no secret that I've been one size and I've been another or what have you. And I am not, by no means, I am not embarrassed by that. I'm not ashamed of that or anything. What I can tell you is sometimes what I mean in shedding the baggage, sometimes what we have going on, what we're dealing with is not always due to our weight or always due to eating or whatever. People are not always overweight or whatever because of the foods they eat. That's not always the issue. But I dealt with some medical issues along the line. I dealt with some hormonal issues along the line, and I was dealing with steroids. And I remember at one time I was 31 years old, and I was walking around with a full bag of medicine. It was a plastic bag, and I had medicine after medicine after medicine. I was just being used as a guinea pig, and it just got to be overwhelming for me. And so I was taking one medicine for one thing, and then that medicine had side effects, so I had another medicine for the side effects, and then I was pre-diabetic, and you know, that worried me really bad because diabetes ran in my family, right? So it even got to the point where my older brother had diabetes, and I was like, no, this is not what I want to do. I do not want to go down this road. So I was actually on high blood pressure medicine for some time, and I went into a series where at my largest, guys, I was 306 pounds. Actually 306 pounds. So I was dragging around a whole nother me, right? So I took the liberty of learning about myself and learning about my health and some things that I was going through. And at that time, that was way back when, I'm telling my age, but way back when, they were offering a gastric bypass. And so I was dealing with my weight very, very heavily, and I was dealing with migraines, and I was suffering from migraines for a long time, and it just got to be very, very difficult for me. So my doctor also recommended that I have gastric bypass. So in 2006, I actually had gastric bypass. Now what I want to say about that is, yes, I had gastric bypass way back when. And a lot of people that knew me or knew of me or whatever, they said, you know, they'll come to you and say, oh, you have a pretty face. Oh, you lost all that weight. Oh, this, that, and the other. And people are going to say what they want to say about you or whatever. But what I want to say is you have to be you have to be happy with who you are, right? So at that time, I did have to have gastric bypass because my weight was affecting me negatively, and I didn't want to lose my life, okay? So when I had gastric bypass, I lost 100 and I think, now guys, that's been a long time, so I think it was 136 pounds or 146 pounds. But again, that was a whole me that I was dragging around. So I felt wonderful. I felt wonderful. I was off high blood pressure medicine, never ever been back on it or anything. My health was great. It got to the point where I tell you what it was, when that it was, I tried to walk up some stairs and I couldn't breathe. Like, it was just crazy. I couldn't breathe. And I was like, this has got to go. Like, it's never been this bad for me. Like, and so, you know, you've had that moment where, you know, you struggle bending over to tie your shoes. And the moment I had to ask somebody to tie my shoes, it was all over for me. Because when you ask somebody to tie your shoes and they get a look on their face like, ugh, I'm that independent person. I'm just not going out like that. So I started to research and get some things in order. And lo and behold, I was approved for gastric bypass. So fast forward, after I had gastric bypass, my son came along. I was down to a size 8. I was too little, really. I was too little. My mama told me, you're too little. You need to gain some weight. So I was maintaining my weight, doing all that good stuff. And one January, I think it was 2010, we had this tremendous snowstorm, right, in Gastonia, and me, hard-headed, I'm trying to go to work in the morning, and my driveway went like this, straight, like almost straight down. And so both my cars were parked at the bottom of the driveway, and one car was parked at the top of the driveway. And so I was trying to get to the cars at the bottom of the driveway, not paying attention, not doing anything, stepped on the ice, and bam, I hit the ice and injured myself, right? I knew that I was hurting, but I didn't know that I was injured at that time. So my elbow actually went into my ribs, right? So it went into my ribs, bruised 3 ribs. When I got to work 3 hours later, I was like so stiff that I couldn't walk. And it took me a couple of days to get over that, but I did not know that I was actually injured until about 32 days later when I couldn't stand up straight. So I ended up going to the doctor. The doctor took me out of work for about 5 weeks. I had a herniated disc and 2 pinched nerves, and my ribs were still bruised, right? So at that time, I started to go through physical therapy, and here I am. They put me right back on steroids. Ugh, I can't stand steroids. So I'm back on steroids. I'm having back spasms. It's hard to walk. I can't do but so much. I'm very limited. Now, guys, when I had gastric bypass, I hated working out. Like, I hated working out with a passion. But then I learned to like working out. So I got to a point where I liked working out, but then when I injured my back, I couldn't. So guess what happened? I started to gain weight again. So if you ever been in this up again, down again, up again, down again weight issue that some of us have. Now, if you don't have weight issues, if you've never had a weight problem or anything like that, bless your heart. But if you've ever been in this point, even like where I am, I'm like right now, I gained like 15 pounds in the last year, and I'm like really pissed off oops, sorry, that was a cuss word. I'm really ticked off right now. I'm glad my son not standing in front of me. But even 5-10 pounds to some people is a big difference. It makes a difference in your clothes or what have you, and you're just not comfortable. So when I injured my back and they started me on steroids again, I was having back spasms. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't like exercise like I wanted. Even walking hurt, right? So eventually over the next year and a half after that, I gained back 75 pounds of the 146 pounds that I lost. You talk about angry, disappointed in myself, everything. Now, it wasn't my fault totally, but I was not happy at all, right? So I had to figure out what was my next move. This is where the real test comes in, right? So I started researching. Clean eating was kind of sort of in back then, but it wasn't a big thing, right? So I started researching, and I woke up one morning and I just said, this is it. I can't take this no more. I want more. I want better, and I'm tired of losing. So, and I was missing my tiny clothes, right? And I was not buying a whole new wardrobe because in my closet was from size 8 to 28. And I wasn't buying no more clothes. I kept kept an outfit for every size just so that I could prove to anyone that they didn't believe me. And I tried to take pictures for, in every area that I was. And I still haven't found the picture that I have where I was my largest. But I had from size 8 to 28 in my closet. So I was bound and determined, as my grandmother would say, I was bound and determined to do this on my own, because back then it got to the point where it wasn't who's going to have gastric bypass again. No, you're going to do this yourself this time. So I started on my journey, right? I started on my journey of shedding the baggage. I started out with giving up coffee, tea, and Diet Coke. Right? So at that time, I was addicted. Now, when I say addicted, I'm talking about addicted, because I would have, on a regular day from morning to night, I would have like at least one. Now, this is the minimum. I would have at least one Starbucks coffee, at least 2 Diet Cokes, and at least 3 Mickey D's sweet tea. That's all in one day. Now, you're talking about a country girl from the South where we grew up on eating whatever we wanted. We didn't watch what we ate. We drank soda pop all day. We didn't drink water like that. And we didn't worry about our health and whatever. We just dealt with it like our ancestors did. And we went to the doctor and got our high blood pressure pills and whatever. We weren't concerned about our health, right? Until it got to the point where people started dropping. And then we started to take it seriously. So I was addicted to the point where at night my body would start to shake. Now, I've never been addicted to drugs. I've never been addicted to weed. I've never been addicted to alcohol or anything like that. But I can tell you that being addicted to caffeine is no different, because my body would start shaking like this. And I couldn't sleep at night, anything like that. And I would get up out of my bed and drive down to Mickey D's and get another Mickey D's iced tea, and that will allow me to sleep. Now, how crazy is that? Now, with that little bit of stuff that I was dealing with in one day, can you imagine my body trying to decipher all of that in one day? 1 Starbucks coffee, 2 Diet Cokes, and 3 Mickey D's iced teas at a minimum. And I was not drinking water. I hated water. I hated water with a passion. So I started researching, and I said, listen, I can't take this no more. My grandmother, everybody in my family, definitely on my mother's side, and most of the people on my father's side, we all dealt with diabetes or high blood pressure or heart disease. And I was bound and determined not to go down that road. So I started researching, and I found out some of the things that I could do to help me rid myself. So the first thing I did was give up Diet Coke. It was the easiest thing for me to give up. Not that it was easy, but it was the easiest among the 3, right? So I gave up Diet Coke the beginning of February 2014. So at that point, I was still drinking coffee, and I was still drinking Mickey D's iced tea. But I incorporated water in there into where I was drinking that Diet Coke. So from that point, I gave myself like a week and a half, I think almost 2 weeks to get rid of that one. And then, and I had headaches, I had shakes, like everything. But I was determined that I was going to do this on my own this time. So I went ahead. The next 2 weeks, I gave up coffee. Now, coffee was kind of hard for me because I drank coffee all day. Like, I could not go to work and get started at work without having my cup of coffee, right? And okay, so if you can imagine everything that I just already said, I had the Starbucks and 2 Diet Cokes, and so now I'm back down to the Mickey D's iced tea. I was at 3 a day, right? So it doesn't matter where I was at. I would go through the drive-thru just for a tea. And some McDonald's knew me by my voice. When I pulled up, okay, we got your tea. That's so terrible, right? So I went and I did the 2 weeks of the coffee, and I really had it bad when I gave up coffee. My head hurt really bad, and I thought I was going back to migraines, but I actually made it through, and I started incorporating more water. Now, at that point, I was like, oh, this is nasty. So I did more research. It's amazing what we will do when we want to do it, right? So I started to do more research and get creative and everything with my water. And I did infused water, and I would drink lemon water, and I would drink iced water, and then hot water, and whatever. But I would always do something to make the water more interesting for me. So lo and behold, 6 weeks in, 6 weeks in, here it comes. I got to give up this iced tea. That was the hardest thing. Like, y'all, I really love some Mickey D's iced tea. Like, they know what they're doing when they make that tea. And I don't know whose auntie is back there making that tea, but that stuff is ridiculous. So when I gave up tea, it was just like something came over me, and it hit me all of a sudden, and it was like, bam! And after 2 weeks of no tea, so that was 6 weeks altogether, I lost about, I think it was about 18 to 28 pounds. Y'all, my memory is really, really bad, and that was a long time ago for me. But I think it was either 18 or 28 pounds. I know it was something with an 8 in it. So don't get me. But it was enough. With just that, listen, I didn't change my eating habits. I didn't do anything but incorporate water and take those 3 things out. And I was amazed. I was so amazed that I was like, I thought to myself, now this has got something to it, right? Okay, so if I can cut out water, I can cut out tea, and I can cut out coffee, and I can lose 18 to 28 pounds, what will happen if I start watching what I eat? So I got smart. I started watching my sugar grams and my carb grams on the back of all the packages. That's when I did some research, and I forgot what diet it was that was out then, but I didn't want to follow that diet. I wanted to do my own thing, because see, I have this thing with rice and gravy and corn. At least I used to. Corn and rice and gravy, my family would tell you, can we eat something else? Because we had corn and rice and gravy at least 3 times a week. Why? Because that's what I wanted. That's my favorite. But I had to give up sweet corn, because sweet corn was just it was so bad for my body, and I knew it, and it would just stick to me. I didn't totally give up rice and gravy, but I did kind of give up corn. So I started to watch my sugar grams and my fat grams on the back oh God, just went brain, on the back of packages. So everything that I would buy, it didn't matter if I was in a convenience store or if I was in a grocery store getting groceries, whatever it was. I even went through my cabinets, y'all. My family thought I was crazy. I went through my cabinets, and I will never forget, I looked at a bottle of green tea. We were like stuck on green tea at that time, but it was your regular green tea. And I think I looked at it, and if I can remember correctly, it was 45 carbohydrate grams. I think that was right. Either 45 or 36 in one bottle. And I was like, that's ridiculous. So then I went to look at it, and the diet green tea had 0. And I said, okay, I'm on to something. So just the simple things. I switched out the regular green tea with the diet green tea. Nobody really knew the difference, but it was helping me. And so my family was actually eating what I ate. And so I started watching all the grams, and that helped me to eliminate certain things in my diet. And once you get that little inkling, like when I lost that 18 to 28 pounds, I was pumped. I was back on track, and I was like, And see, y'all, when you go from a size 28 to a size 8, when you get a little something that's working for you, that's all the motivation you need. It does. Like, they would fuss at me. They was like, "Oh, you know, Tawana gonna eat something healthy." Yes, I am. Yes, I sure am. And you don't gotta eat what I eat, but I'm gonna eat something healthy. Now, I ain't telling you that I always do what I need to do. I just said that I gained 15 pounds over the last year when I was dealing with the things with my mom, and I got all off track, and I wasn't doing meal prep. I wasn't watching what I was eating. I wasn't watching what I was drinking or anything like that. I'm still in the same size, but I got this little pudge and this little muffin top going on right now, and I am not a happy camper. So I know what works, right? I already did it before, and I know what to do to get it off again. So I did that, and I lost like 79 pounds. And after 79 pounds, I stopped counting. I did a video, it's on my YouTube, where I was out at Martha Rivers Park, and I was like, and I actually did my goal. I finished my goal way before my date. I was trying to get down to a certain size before my 45th birthday or 44th birthday, I think it was. It might have been 44, because it's about 3 years ago. So I think it was my 44th birthday that I was trying to get my goal back. So I did that, and I maintained my weight. I lost that 79 pounds back off. And then once I got to that point, and y'all, like, I'm not ashamed to say my size. A lot of people don't want to say their size or their weight or whatever. Child, I was 306 pounds. I don't care who knows it. If you know me, or if you've seen me, or you grew up with me or whatever, you know that I've been small and I've been big. So who cares? I was 306 pounds way back in the day. And then I got down, and I think the lowest I was when I was a size 8 was 167. That's the lowest I got, and I didn't like it at all because I didn't have my thickness back. I've always had thick thighs, and I'm happy to be in the thick thigh club. But I wasn't exercising and doing what I need to do at that time. So when I lost the weight again, then I started exercising, and I loved exercising. Oh my God, I loved exercising. Y'all, when I tell you I loved exercising, it was wonderful. It's just something freeing when you can exercise. So let me go back to exercising. When I lost that weight, I was on a challenge with my friends at work, because we were trying to get back right. And when I lost all the weight, I lost my booty. I lost my booty, and I couldn't take it. Like, I couldn't take it. So we went on a squat challenge, okay? So we was doing a squat challenge, and the squat challenge was for the whole month. So in that month, we would stand up at our desk at the top of the hour, and we would do like 10 squats at the top of every hour to equal up to what our squat challenge amount was for that day. So when we got through with the month, man, when I tell you, we were pumped and we were lit. Everything was boom, bam, bam. But guess what happened? A couple days after the squat challenge was over, my knees went out. I was like, what the world? And so I was getting ready. All my life, I always wanted to be a jogger. And I was studying jogging. I had just bought my shoes. I was getting ready to be a jogger. I wanted to do a 10K, everything. Getting ready to come out the building, and bam, my knees go out from under me. End up going to the doctor and to the therapist, and he tells me I have no cartilage in my right leg and very little in my left leg. You talking about devastated. I was like, this is not happening. So I go 6 months in a brace up to my hip, shots in my knees, physical therapy twice a week, sometimes once a week when I got a little bit better. But my goal was to build the muscle up around my knees. So then I couldn't do any exercises. I couldn't do squats. I couldn't do lunges. I couldn't do anything, y'all, but walk. So that's when I got to the point of becoming a master walker. And I would walk, and I got up to the point where I was walking 5 miles a day, at least 3 to 4 times a week. So that's where I ended up, and I wasn't having back spasms. I wasn't having issues with my knees. I do have to wear knee braces on my knees often, and it even kept me from trying my challenge of going up the mountain. I was so afraid for so many years to go up that mountain because I felt like my knees was going to give out on me, climbing up the mountain, because it's not a level surface. And, you're walking on gravel, you're walking on rocks, and that kind of puts a little bit more pressure on your knees. But walking on a track or, in your neighborhood or whatever, you might have some inclines or whatever, but it's not as bad as going up the mountain. But nevertheless, I did conquer the mountain a couple of times. But I just want to say to you guys that whatever your issue is as far as with your weight, if you're having weight issues, if you're happy with your weight and you just want to improve your eating habits, I want to tell you that it doesn't matter how big or how small the change you make. Even the smallest changes will allow you to get progress, and it makes a change in your life. Just cutting out minimal things, or incorporating water into your diet. If just starting out, and if you're incorporating water, it's going to make a difference. I honestly challenge you, even if you're incorporating water on a day-to-day basis, it is going to challenge you. Fontella, we are going to do it again, girl. Yes. But I want to say, with that baggage, it is totally, totally up to you. Please don't try to compare yourself to anybody else, okay? Comparison is the worst enemy. I learned that, and that's why a lot of times I would walk by myself, or I would just exercise by myself or whatever, because my knees, I can't power walk as fast as some people. And so I don't want anybody to feel like you have to wait on me, or or I might walk a little faster than you, or whatever. I see a lot of people on the track sometimes, and I stopped to encourage them. I saw a lady out there one Saturday, and she was walking with a cane, and she was walking slow, and she was taking her own good time. And I stopped, and I told her my story, and I told her, do not feel bad about where you are at in your journey. I said, I was right there with you. I had to walk with a crutch for almost 4 weeks. And I had to get out of the car, be dropped off at the curb at my job, because at that time I parked way away from the building. And I could not walk 2 blocks on a crutch and in a brace up to my hip. So I had to be dropped off in front of my building. And just think, trying to get up 24 floors, you have to go through security, you have to get on the elevator, you got your bags, you got your crutch, and you got your, scan in, all that great stuff. You got long corridors you got to walk down. And so I didn't compare myself to anyone else, but I was bound and determined to keep going no matter what. So I just wanted to leave that with you guys. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just do what you got to do. And like I said, make those small changes, and that will work for you. You are your own competition. You just be better than you were yesterday, and I guarantee you, you will do exactly what you need to do. But another thing that I did not mention about baggage, shedding the baggage, sometimes our weight issues or our things that we have going on in our body, our health issues and things like that, it has to do with what we eat and put into our bodies. Listen to my voice leaving. Okay, let me drink some tea. I'm sorry. Okay, I know I sound like Barry White. Please forgive me. But a lot of times, what's going on in our body is not directly related to our food or intake or alcohol or whatever we put into our body. I would say 40-50% of what's going on inside our bodies has to do with stress and how we are maintaining ourselves, whether you get enough sleep, whether you eat right, whether you are stressing, whether you're enjoying life, you know, those type of things. So my shedding my baggage not only had to do with what I put in my body, what I drank, what I ate, the exercise and all that. It goes down to all those little steps. You got to get your mind right. You got to get your body to a point where your mind is not racing all the time and you can actually sleep at night. Y'all, if you know me, I'm a go-getter, and you know, if I get an idea or you know something like that, or if I'm working on something or whatever, I used to would just pull an all-nighter, or I got to get it done, or I got this to do, that to do. And I learned the hard way that I just can't put my body through that. In order for my body to work for me and to function for me and do what I needed to do, I need to also get the proper rest. And it would be times where, because I'm a night owl, or I used to be, I would stay up to 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night, knowing I got to get up. Kids will have to get up and go to school. I will have to get up early to go to work or whatever. And you're running off of 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Now, if you continuously lose 3 hours of sleep every night, 3 hours a night for 7 days, that's 21 hours. 21 hours a week times 4 weeks, that's 85, roughly 85 hours in a month. 85 hours in a month times 12, that's almost 1,000 hours of lost sleep in a year. And if you continue to do that over 10 years, I love math, but you do the math. Just think about what's going on in your body. You can never catch up. So you have to start where you are and do something that's going to be good for your body. Like, even if it's just starting an extra an extra 30 minutes at night, going to bed early, or getting up an extra 30 minutes late. Now, you got to make some adjustments in order to do that and plan ahead and all that good stuff. But sometimes we're so consumed with our phones, with our iPads, you know, with the TV. Sometimes we just need to shut that stuff down and allow our bodies to rest. I'm not going to say much about it, but stress kills. I had a very good friend years ago. I've actually had a couple of friends to pass from stress, and they were my age, right? So stress kills. So stop worrying about everything. Stop worrying about people. Please don't worry about people. Don't worry about folk, y'all. Don't worry about folk. Now, if you want to talk to me on the outside of my live about talking, I can tell you about worrying about folk. Don't worry about folk. Don't let your family stress you out. Don't let your kids stress you out. Don't let your job stress you out. Don't let your bills stress you out. Make improvements in every area of your life and live your best life. It's 2019, y'all. It's time to get it. Like it's time to, do what we got to do to be the best that we can be in every area of our life. So shedding the baggage is just not about losing weight. Shedding the baggage is about losing all of that stuff that weighs you down. Just like that bag lady, if you've ever seen that meme on social media. She's carrying all those baggage. I'm going to see if I can find it and post it. But she's carrying all those bags, and every bag has a label on it. Whether it's stress, whether it's weight, whether it's people, whether it's sleep, whatever. If you are constantly carrying all that baggage, then it's going to weigh you down. So I know I've been going quite a bit tonight, so I want to just go ahead and cut this short, but we did talk about chapter 6 in my book, which is shedding the baggage, and I kind of gave you a lot out of the chapter. So there are 6 other chapters in my book. I challenge you to visit TawanaLorraine.com and order your book today, or hit me up, text me, inbox me, or whatever, and I can get you your book, or I can get you your combo, which includes the I don't have on one today, but that gets you your book, and You Don't Know My Story tee. They come in several colors: red, purple, yellow, white. Oh, what am I missing? Red, purple, yellow, white. I think that's it. But nevertheless, check out the website. It tells you all about it there. Got some events coming up, some book signings. If you're in Charlotte, South Tyvola this Saturday, come and have brunch with me. I will be at Sonny's Barbecue. I think it's 440 Tyvola Road. I'll be there from 11 to 1. We'll be having brunch. I'll be signing books. We'll be having lots of hugs, lots of pictures, and talking about the book. And if you are available in Gastonia, I'm coming back to Gastonia on April 13th. I'll be back at the same venue that I started at to do that. And I also will be in Clover on October. Am I speaking things? I will be in Clover on April 20th, and I'll be posting more information on that. So stay tuned. There's lots more to come from Tawana Lorraine. I have some interviews and some more book signings ahead. I thank you all for your support. I thank you for tuning in to Talk Tuesday with Coach T tonight, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good night.